Hey guys, alright, so the video down below is from the Daily Color Shorts, and AOC and Riley Roberts recently came out on Instagram and talked about some of the ways that they combat racism. Now, the video was focused on Riley Roberts, that's AOC's boyfriend's techniques in terms of raising awareness regarding racism as well as combating racism. And Riley Roberts, he is somebody who has been memed pretty viciously as it is already. There was a picture of him holding up a black cell phone in a certain position, and the meme was, or the caption said, Riley Roberts' favorite sex position. So he's already got that going against him in the court of public opinion. But this just makes his reputation even worse. He comes out and he's talking about how he talks to his fellow white people, another meme, talks to his fellow white people about how to combat racism. Now, I just want to go ahead and mention this because AOC, over 2 years ago, she came out, or almost 2 years ago, she came out and she was talking about how she has Sephardic heritage. Riley Roberts might be in the same boat. He might have Ashkenazi heritage. So when he comes out and they're talking about basically recycling the old meme, all white people are racist, then that starts to raise some red flags. So do with that information as you will. Anyways, but I want to go ahead and talk about the latter portion of this video with Candace Owens testifying before Congress. She has been a great spokeswoman. Didn't mean to assume her gender. She's been a great spokeswoman for us on the right. And I mean, I know she has her problems, her critics within our own movement, but for the most part, she is right on regarding most issues. She comes out and makes it very clear that she does not buy into the whole hoax that there is a rise of white supremacy. And I've even talked about this too. I've talked about how a lot of people on the left are projecting a big presence of white supremacy on the right, when in reality they are the real white supremacists in some ways. They do look at minorities as lesser than them, and they're going to remind minorities that they are in a lesser status than them. Because they're always talking to black and brown people, if you will, colored people, people of color, that they are oppressed. I've even had people in my own observable universe say, basically in the same sentence, I'm so-and-so, Hispanic or black, and I'm oppressed, Jesus Christ. This is really what, and it's very unfortunate because a lot of this propaganda has, for the most part, or most prominently, it's affected the younger people, because these younger people come out. It doesn't matter if they're white or if they're colored, they're going to look at their own skin color and feel bad about themselves. And this goes for both white and Hispanic people. So when I look at somebody like Candace Owens, I see somebody who is not going to apologize for her own skin color. She's not going to expect other people, and she's not going to demand that other people apologize for their skin color, because I would even go out on a limb and say that Candace Owens and many other people, they look at it in the same fashion as Martin Luther King Jr. would, where people ought to be judged by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. Now, I know there's a lot of middle ground between MLK and straight up demographic profiling, racial profiling. I know that there's arguments to be had for one or the other, for either. But I think it's nice to have this conversation nonetheless and to hear arguments from both sides. So it's actually kind of a polar opposite when you have people like AOC and her boyfriend, Riley Roberts, come out. They talk about how white people can combat racism, and then on the other hand, you have Candace Owens coming out and saying that she does not see white people as a whole, as a group of people being racist or buying into the whole white supremacy hoax slash bullshit. So, with that, I'll just say, I think for the most part, people deep down don't want to focus on race. It's really something, especially here in the United States, where we aren't necessarily a country of immigrants. We were essentially founded by white European settlers, pagan and Christian. There's a good mixture there. That's the reason why the First Amendment came into place, because our founding fathers saw that there was a lot of different schools of thought in terms of theism. So um, we founded this country. It was founded by white European settlers. However, due to some very shady articles of legislation, I think the Hard Seller Act is one of them. That's one that Vincent Elephants talks about a lot, where it has shaped the United States to essentially be in the image of the Statue of Liberty poem, which is not. It's not a fair representation of this country. That was written by Emma Lazarus, a Russian Jew, who was very upset with how the Russian Empire was treating Jews at the time. This was the latter part of the 19th century, so she wrote that poem, um, which has nothing to do with the actual Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was something that was given to us by the French as a gift for our 100 years of anniversary, or rather 100 years of independence, 100th anniversary of independence from the British. And the reason why that was meaningful to the French is because they came in and helped us during the Revolutionary War. Um, so there's obviously a lot to unpack here in this video. Race is a very fascinating thing. Yet at the same time, I don't think it's something that we need to think about 24/7. I think it definitely is conversation worthy, but don't overthink it. There are many things in life that are very interesting to talk about that we should talk about, but aren't really necessarily worth obsessing over. So I'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I will see you guys later.